Hip-hop.
Anonymous. Saturdays.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sapo Saturdays. You got your boy ASAP Froggy, Bingus Frog,
Ribbit, y'all.
Doc Froggle Day.
What's going on, frogs?
Welcome to Scratch Track Sessions.
What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for being with us on this beautiful Saturday. I am Bingus Frog, and I am so happy to have you with us today. I want to start by talking to the notorious frogs I see there in the audience, so if you can hop up. And while you hop up, I'm just going to let everyone...
They're co-hosting, bro. They're not in the audience. They're our co-hosts.
Okay, well, they're the co-host. Beautiful. That works even better. And I'd love them to come off mic in just a second, but I do want to set the room, and I want to let everyone know who we are. So we are Sapo Studios. I'm Bingus Frog. We've got Doc Froggle Day here and ASAP Froggy. We're operating under the umbrella of Frogland, and we're trying to bring rights for music as well as profits back into the hands of the artists. We're going to be unveiling a marketplace where you can buy and sell stems and do a whole lot more on the Frogland site. But until that happens, we're jamming and talking to artists and talking about NFTs and music and life. So Notorious Frogs are here with us, and we have a very exciting day tomorrow. It's Land Reveal Day.
Yo, let's get it cracking for Land Reveal.
I have to say, personally, I can't wait. I've got 6 deeds that I've already claimed that I want one in each biome. So I'm really hoping that at least those are separated into the different biomes. And then I've got one that I haven't claimed that hopefully when I do, that'll be the 7th.
The Virgin, right?
The
Virgin Frog.
Which, by the way, so for anyone in the audience that doesn't know, when this project rolled out, the thing was when you buy a frog, you get land. There's land attached to each frog. Now, since the land has started to be claimed, some people are then flipping the frogs and putting them back on OpenSea, so you can wind up buying a frog that doesn't have land attached. But there are still frogs out there that have land attached that you can purchase. I scooped one up yesterday for 0.15 Ethereum that was a plus 4 devious boost, and I'm a devious motherfucker, so that's perfect. And it still had land attached to claim. They call Frogland the sleeping giant of Web3, which I believe is true based on this, doxed team and all of the plans that they have for the future. So in reality, I don't know what people are doing sleeping on this sleeping giant of Web3, but that's fine. You want to leave that stuff out there, I'll scoop it up. That's cool. I see Bugs that you're in the audience. If you want to hop up and say anything about the land reveal, you're more than welcome to do so as well.
If any frogs want to come up and just ask about or talk about the land reveal too, we're okay with that because we're super hyped about that. We also want to, plug a little bit of what's going on with the land reveal. What kind of land do you want, Shia?
I think I want the urban biome. Well,
I knew you were going to say that.
I want all 7. I mean,
He's a city boy.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only that. I mean, he absolutely rocked the fuck out of the tunes for that biome.
Yeah, that's true.
And, that honestly pulled me into that video even more. Like, I saw that video. I was like, all right, this is awesome. This is a really cool, graphic design layout of the biome. But then, you have that music, and it just gets you going, and you're like, okay, now I'm in it. Now I want it. Dude, I need to scoop these.
I was trying to show my girlfriend Kelsey the music I was making for that, and I was pretty stoked about it, and I was like, yo, check this out, just listen to it. And she was like, it's a lot, it's kind of a little overwhelming, but then when she saw it with the video, she was like, oh, it makes a lot more sense now.
Oh, yeah, and that's a funny thing, too, how music works like that when you add in the visual element, because I felt the same way to a certain extent. Bugs had approached you with an idea of where he wanted you to start with this thing, and between that starting point and then what you sent me, I was like, all right, this is cool, but, there's a lot going on. I feel like my head's going to explode. No, but then you put it with that video, and it just made so much sense.
I mean, I didn't put it. They put
well,
it.
Yes, they put it with that video.
Right. No, he definitely did it. The one thing I'm curious about is if anyone has any sort of real like wants for a specific type of land. I mean, I'm a mountain boy. I'm a bumpkin from Idaho, so I definitely want some mountain land. You know what I mean? Get into the woods. I see we have Barefoot up here, so this is probably a perfect person to ask their opinion on what type of land would you like, Barefoot. What's going on, fam? How are you doing today?
Ribbit, nice to be here. Sapo, always nice. Ribbit with the Crockland. Froggy, all the way. Actually, you know me, I like mushrooms, so I'm really keen to the forest, I guess. Yes, I like the dumps, I like the moss, I like the nice little animals. But I don't know if you remember last time I said my forest was burned. So actually, it's all good. After burning, there is always new reviving. And then I was thinking about it. Maybe it can be a nice implement into Frogland. Because sometimes fire gets burned, right? The forest get down, and maybe you'll need help. From people from the mountain. For a while. You can
like
pay
this.
for them. To be on the land because you need to escape. And let's not forget, yes, I've seen all the area of the city is like very close to the coastal. Yes, maybe come tsunami once in a while. They have alarm. They need to, pay some nice magic for like all the other froggies on their land. So I thought about it more of like a kind of connection of the community inside the game, and I'm implementing it in a different place in another context, but suddenly I discovered fire as a cleansing and healing process, in community and general.
Yeah, I love that because all of the carbon. I'm a big lover of plants, Barefoot. So I've done some extensive research. Let's just say that, and one of the things that I have actually found was that the carbon that comes from all the burnt wood, once it's actually like leaked into the soil, it is so nutritious for all of the rest of the plants. So yeah, the destruction leads to rebuilding, I guess you could say. But we just had a very, very special guest come into our door right now. I want to take a moment to say what's up to this OG. Dude, what is going on?
Head Hippie has just walked into Sapo.
I'm going to hand him the mic and let him just roll here because dude, we got to get a picture later. I'm loving these. I need a pair of these, bro.
I got you with the pants, but shout out to y'all, man. Thank y'all for having me, bro. I really appreciate it. Yeah, let me get the headphones. Super appreciate being here, man. Bingus, he reached out to me, let me know about the show and what you guys were. Is it on? All right, now I can hear. I was like, okay. Yeah. I was off a little bit, but nah, man. I'm Visto. They call me the Head Hippie. I represent Hippie Life Crew, a brand I've had now for about 8 years. Started in Washington D.C., D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, and what we started with is music, but it kind of evolved into being community outreach, doing things for the homeless. I did a lot of things for the homeless, but. We can go into that later if you want. But, yeah, community outreach, events, just bringing the community together. Because where I'm from, it's a lot of separate, a lot going on there, So for us to bring that, it was fresh at the time and, things like that. But, yeah, that's me, man.
I do want to get into all of that. But before we do, you did mention the fact that you can hook him up with those pants and that hat. So do you make those or what's going on here? Because you've got these awesome, like, knit pants going on with this
man,
knit hat. Like, you got some drip.
He did it, man. This is actually a designer. He made these for me. Yeah, man, he's super talented, but he has a lot of different colors too. Yeah, he just goes and picks, different patterns and puts them together. But I saw this and I was like, it's my style. I gotta have it.
So let me ask you: do you see a split between your image as a person and your image as an artist? Like, are these fashion statements that you make when you're wearing this stuff? When I see like all of the awesome artwork with like you standing on that beach with your hair all over the place and like
amazing.
So cool.
And I have questions about how that was taken, but
thank you so much.
But so like are all of those things like? Are the man and the artist one, and these are all an expression of you, or is this kind of the image that you're trying to put out as this artist?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I'm gonna say honestly, it started off as an image.
Okay.
Truthfully, that's what it started as, because even the brand, it started off as, like every artist, they at the time it was big. The big word was brand. You need a brand,
Yep.
and things like that. So I sat back and like I said, I come from a city where, hippie life crew is furthest from what's on, the minds of the people, where I'm from. They're talking about totally different things, so it was hard for me to kind of push that in my city at the time. So in the beginning, that wasn't really my mentality, and I would say the hippie mindset, and it elevated to be a mindset, more than anything, because through, just as a person, you grow, you evolve every day, every year. You're trying to, find new things to make yourself better. And I really realized that, it's not a look, because a lot of people will box me in. They box me in with this brand. It's a brand where, people expect you to be a certain way. They expect you to do certain things.
Because, the entire world judges on looks, and no one's willing to take a beat and see who that person is, who that business is. They're just all about what they see in that first moment.
And I think it can work. It's good, and to me it's a lot bad too.
Works both ways.
Everything works both ways. But yeah, I think
it actually pushed me away.
Me too. I'm not gonna lie.
From the
internet period, right?
Well, just like I had
or social media.
I had opportunities with like managers, and they said I looked like a nerd because I was wearing glasses, and I had to like change my image and figure out my brand, and then I just stopped talking to those people. And it actually kind of pushed me away from music.
It did that to me too, but kind of on a different spectrum, because for me, it pushed me away because it's like, man, you guys think the brand, you like the brand, and you like what I'm putting out there, you like my music, all this stuff, but now because the brand is so synonymous with me, you almost... You won't look at me as, a person, and you won't see that, well, yeah, I do have this brand, but I make this kind of music and this kind of music, and I'm not just namaste.
Not just
life,
one thing.
Life that's impossible, because life won't allow you to just be one thing. There's so many different things going on to everyone's day to day.
When I first got to LA,
is that for me?
Yes, that is. When I first got to LA about 10 years ago, and I was really trying to pursue the acting thing hard, and I was trying to find an agent and a manager. I remember I went to meet with this one agent, and I did a monologue for him, and they were blown away by the monologue. They're like, "Oh shit, no one's ever come in here and done Shakespeare. A lot of people are just doing monologues from movies, and it's very contemporary stuff. Like, that's awesome that you even are aware of this material, but you really delivered it really well." And I was excited. I was like, "Okay, I'm about to get signed." Right. So then he sits me down. He's like, "What you really have to do, though, is you have to work on your look." He goes, because as talented as you clearly are, you've got this chubby thing going on over here. He actually said this. He goes, "You got this chubby thing going on, and you have to pick a direction. You either got to lose the weight or you got to gain more. You're in the middle right now, and that really doesn't work for being on screen.
You either have to be super fat or super skinny."
Yeah, which is the most absurd
that's the
fucking thing I've ever heard.
Man, the world doesn't know what they want, because even me, I'm super, super slim. Like, under this, I'm very skinny. And people will be like, "Man, you're so skinny. You're so skinny." And I'm like, well, all right, I was born this way. Like, what do you want me to do? But it affects you sometimes, because sometimes it makes me think like, well, damn, am I that skinny? Let me start working out. Let me start trying to eat or something. And then it changes your views on yourself.
Absolutely.
When I didn't have any problem with myself before people start, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
so
the world gives you a complex.
Though, they really will, man. And that's like you just said, that person telling you have to do this or you have to do this just to be able to get your art out there or be able to be heard. That's ridiculous, man. And like you was, Dave, like you were saying, that's what pushed me away from it. You know what I mean? Just the cliche-ness of it, and just trying to really package everything.
And it's like, I know why I'm back here now, right? But it took me a long time to get back here. But it seems like in the moment that you were shunned away from it, what brought you back to it? Because you're doing it. That's why we found you.
Right.
You were discoverable.
Thank you, man.
have so what is it
that brought me back?
Yeah.
I would say, I was going through a lot of things over the last year, some change. I lost a lot of people in my family, and that kind of stopped me and really pushed me away. But then, honestly, Web3, just Web3 in general. Like, I started getting on my Twitter, and my friend had told me about NFTs, and I didn't really understand it at first, but when it clicked for me and I understood how to buy them and, you know, how to sell them and, you know, just started to learn about the collections, it kind of just drew me in. And the first one that I got into was Quirky's. That was the first community. Yeah, man, I love them. Shout out to the game, man. Yeah, we got a barbecue today later on, too, out here. So we do a lot of things in the community together. But I saw that, you know, just the mentality of togetherness and community within Web3. And that really, you know, is something that I've always been about, is what I was doing back home with Hippie Life Crew, when we would tour and do different cities and do our little shows. It was always that kind of aspect of community. You know, we know about what's going on, and we're going to be in our little community doing our thing. And if the world catches on, whenever they catch on, they catch on. You know what I mean? But right now, we're going to enjoy it. Yeah. And I seen that, you know, and it really drew me to it. And then once I started to find other musicians, you know, and other artists that were doing their thing, and I got to have an example of how to do it and that it can be done, you know, in Web3, it started to kind of push me more to start recording again and creating and, you know, just put my work out. Really just put my music out now. I won't even say, because I never start recording, I just say actually putting it out, you know, making the effort.
Right.
Yeah, that's wild that Web3 is what revives sort of that, you know, that fire under you. That's some of the conversation I wanted to get into today with community, specifically of what you're talking about. It's another word for it, I'll say, is culture. You know what I mean?
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely culture.
And that's what I think NFTs are really, in a core sense about. It's like, yo, you can be whatever form of culture you want, and it just like gives you a platform to find the like-minded individuals that share that same desire for whatever you have. So that's awesome that this brought you back. I just want to, before we go into that deep dive of a whole, I do want to reset the room, but I'm going to let the legend Bingus over here do it because he's so good at it.
Sure. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being with us on this beautiful Saturday. We are Sapo Studios. I'm Bingus Frog. I'm here with Doc Frogglday and ASAP Froggy. We're trying to put ownership rights back into the hands of artists as well as the majority of profits. We're going to be unveiling a marketplace to buy and sell music stems and a whole lot more. But until we do, we're here chilling with artists, jamming, chatting it up, talking about life, music, and NFTs. Today, we have the amazing Visto with us, Head Hippie.
Yes, sir.
Very excited to have him
Hippie Life
here.
Crew in the building.
What? Hey, let's go.
Let's rock this up.
Absolutely.
Right,
please.
Sapo Studios, baby. We got Laura just shows us smoke.
That's right. Go. Yeah, no, listen, the Notorious Frogs have joints. Some of them.
Know.
So there's a lot of cool stuff going on in this community.
I see the bong on the table too, so I know what time it is.
That's right.
You gotta be careful with Bingus' bong over there, though. That
be careful with this bong.
Oh, man.
That's the Bingus bong.
Bingus bong.
That's right. So, okay, did you want to get into something with respect to that before I...
Yeah. So, based around, like, this talk of culture and community, like, in a sense, were you always in sort of this world of like, I want to do this type of culture, I want to be this type of individual and find like-minded individuals? Since, like, when did that all start? Like, how did you find this form of culture that you've just like found so many followers through?
I really think I think it's just, well, I've always been genuine, bro. Like, I think it's just being genuine, you know what I mean? Because any interaction that I've had, whether it was in person or online, I've always been able to connect with people on, you know, just the basic human fabrics, you know what I mean? Right. Like, things that matter, you know, when it comes to what I do or what I'm trying to do, I kind of leave that out of everything, you know. I kind of let everything find me, really, you know. So, yeah, I would say that just being genuine helps me to be able to even want to pursue a community or even want to do any of this stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, it also probably makes it easier to weed through a lot of the bullshit that's out there too, no?
Nah, I make it harder.
That's I get. Yeah, because you're trying to be genuine and somebody else's bullshit.
People, cause see,
people like to take advantage of that shit.
And it's hard to read, you know. Right. When dealing with people, you always walking in blind faith, you know.
Right.
Because you really don't know a person.
Oh, we're definitely
a person.
The Frogs have put a lot of faith in us, the team, and we're definitely just planning on rugging them, and I'm sure they're planning on rugging us. So,
oh, man.
Hell,
notorious.
Rugs all over the place.
Rugs all over. No, you know,
this guy right here, Dave, ASAP, Shia, whatever you want to call him, is one of the most genuine people I've ever met, and people love to take advantage of that shit because he's such a talented editor, cinematographer, and then people are like, okay, yeah, let's do this thing, and he sees this opportunity and he goes for it and he kills it, and then they take their time with payment.
Right, they never did.
They take
See,
their fucking
I have the
time.
opposite problem. And it might be a reason I met you, because I have the problem where I pay, and then they take their time to give me the work.
That sucks.
I have the complete opposite.
Yes, well, maybe
I
you
pay
guys need to work
upfront, no
together
problem.
because,
and,
he
you right down the
produces.
street from me, because I'm looking for a videographer right now, because I need
nice.
videos, like a lot of them, content. I need content.
This is absolutely your man.
I'd love to shoot for you, bro.
Let's try something, man. I think we could. Yeah, I'll shoot you some tracks over that. I'll show you my new song that I just dropped and a couple more that I'm about to drop.
Well,
Speaking of which, is your
I was
stuff
about
on
to say.
Apple Music?
it is. I
Okay,
do
why
have
don't you
music
go
on.
ahead and pull that up? It's going to be under Visto, right?
Yes,
VISTO.
Yeah.
While you're pulling that up, Shia, let's go back a little bit. So, are you from DC originally?
I'm from Norfolk, Virginia. Originally.
Norfolk, Virginia. Okay.
Yeah, and I moved to DC when I was around 13 years old. So it's like kind of it's basically home. And DC is a weird place where they're very prideful. The Washingtonians, they're very prideful of the city, and so you can't just say you from there. They'll call you out on it.
Oh, there's so much history.
Yeah, with a lot of history and with a lot of things. So they'll let you know, like, nah, you from Maryland, you from Virginia. They're not, they and I love it. Like, they're very prideful, but I take pride in the fact that they claim me. You know what I mean? That they allow me to say nobody questions me or be like, oh, where you grow up at? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, yeah, I love
Were you
DC.
always deep into music from the time you were a kid, or did that come later in life?
I was always deep into music. My brother had a studio in my house when I was really little. I was used to write raps. I used to call record labels when I was a kid. All the labels, I used to call them, try to get signed and stuff when I was like 7, 6. Hell yeah. Yeah, so I used to play the violin, the cello, up until high school to the 9th grade, and I stopped. I was in chorus. I did in high school. I did a lot of talent shows. I used to be dancing and stuff like pop locking and choreography.
So you were always into music,
Yeah, I've always
entertaining.
been-
That was always in your blood.
Yeah, I've always done it in some facet. I've always done it. So, and I'm naturally not like I'm very recluse and shy. Naturally. But to get on stage, I don't know, it just brings something out of me. So I love performing, whether it's, music or, well, now it's just music. I don't dance and that no more, but
Do you still play violin?
not anymore. I know music because I produce too. Like,
Yeah.
I make some of my beats, so the crazy thing is before I could read music when I was in music. Now I can't read music, but I just know it. It's,
I like that.
It's a feeling, man.
Let's
Definitely
go
feel
ahead
it.
and feature one of your songs. So what's a song you'd like
Let's
to
play
start
Keep
with
It-
for the audience?
Let's play The Way It Goes. That's not the last song I dropped. The song before the last one.
What is how did it get its title?
The Way It Goes.
That's just the way it goes.
That's
What?
just the way it goes. Kind of like, these songs, the couple that the last two that I put out, I kind of just did them off the top of my head. I don't really write stuff no more. I just go in and let it take me where it takes me. So I did this song in like probably 15 minutes
Oh wow!
from
I
top
like
to
that.
bottom. From
That's
top
awesome.
to bottom.
And- And do you have like one spot that you like to record? How does that work?
No, I can record. I really care about the engineer. Like, that's the most important thing. I don't really care where I'm at.
Wise words.
I just care about that me and the engineer are connected, and an engineer, because the hard thing for me is finding the engineer that I can lock in with long term and just keep recording them, because the engineers I work with, they're really good, so they end up moving on. And like I recorded with an engineer in Charlotte, and he ended up going on to do all the baby's music, so he's super busy now, and I can still work with him, but it's not like before he started dropping all of the babies out. The same with my latest engineer out here in California. He's working with Rich Homie Quan right now, and he's, doing really good. He's starting to pick back up, and I'm happy for him, of course, but for my own music, I would like to have
Bro,
an
you just gave
engineer
me
that
a
I can lock in
crazy
with.
idea. With like NFTs, like if you're an engineer and you release an NFT collection that gives the person that collects it the opportunity, because I own Scab Shop, a tattoo, which is like some of the most prestigious tattoo artists to ever live. And if you bid on their piece, you can then get that tattoo put onto your skin.
Oh wow!
So,
and as I understand it, it takes like
crazy.
years to get an appointment
That's
there,
genius.
right?
Oh yeah,
crazy.
you could be fucking Justin Bieber right now, and if you
And
try
you
to get an appointment with Dr. Wu, he's going to tell you 3 years minimum.
Wow.
So I have these, and it's interesting what you just said, because it just sparked this idea for engineers. Like
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, a really good producer, engineer.
Yeah, if you bought I got a couple. Doc Froggleday's a bumpkin, but he thinks of a thing or two.
You got an idea or two.
Everything, something's rolling around in this base over here. But I think that's interesting, because then you don't ever have to really worry about that. You know what I mean? Like them getting away from you. You're like, yo, bro, like I want to cash in this time with you, and the more that we become digital, as Bingus over here says, we have big plans to also build out a digital VR studio that you can be in with your engineer and do all sorts of different things, and you guys could be halfway across the globe with each other. So
so maybe if we haven't given away this idea, we can implement it somehow into our little.
Don't steal it, anyone.
Yeah, do not take it.
But you know what?
Listening.
Someone might steal it, and you know what they say?
Hey, bro.
That's the way it goes.
Hey,
and that being
that's a
said,
segue.
let's go ahead and play "The Way It Goes" by
bastard.
Beasto.
I love that. That's perfect.
Smoking on the side, yeah, that's smoke. Do you wanna fuck with that? So let's roll. Talking when I'm trying to get up off my nigga, no. Niggas that I know, I take it down for that, 'cause that's a no-go. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. That's the way that it goes. Why I say, why I know. I get green like artichoke. That's why I won't put it on the floor. I send to the poker nose. That pussy wet like roller bowl. I've been trapped so hard this shit, you know this money, I know she knows. I told Taco, hold it down, just let me focus on recording. If you do that, I'ma make a post for shit, my nigga, I'm on it. I ain't dormant, I'm in orbit. On my way straight to the stars. I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. When they come down to these bars. Smoking on the side, yeah, that's smoke. Do you wanna fuck with that? So let's roll. Talking when I'm trying to get up off my nigga, no. Niggas that I know, I take it down for that, 'cause that's a no-go. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Now I don't think you feeling me. I ain't taking a bite to stand on that, you hearing me. Nigga, this shit gotta go school, yeah, like you know Billy D. That's an old flame, yeah, like Chuck D. Yeah, my shit ain't for cheap, nigga, this ain't Applebee's. Nigga, better tell your man like him, we play for keeps. Pounds in the pantry, some in the antiques. Shawty, you too fancy, you understand me. Smoking on the side, yeah, that's smoke. Do you wanna fuck with that? So let's roll. Talking when I'm trying to get up off my nigga, no. Niggas that I know, I take it down for that, 'cause that's a no-go. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
That song is a vibe.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thank y'all so much, man. Thank you.
You laid that down like 15 minutes.
15
You're
minutes,
just
man.
feeling that shit,
On
then.
top, yeah. When I like a beat, I just tell the engineer load it up, and I just throw them headphones on, and I just start mumbling stuff.
Where did you get that beat?
I love it.
Shout out to Too Tall. That's one of my main producers. He does pretty much. He done like some of my biggest songs that I got as far as my numbers on Apple Music and stuff and Spotify. Bustin' Suds, Dope Cabana. Those are probably like two of my biggest songs. And he's produced those. He produced my whole Dope Cabana project. He produced Bustin' Suds. He produced The Way It Goes. He produced Keep It Coming, the single I just dropped like 5-6 days
I saw
ago.
it on your Twitter. Right?
Yeah, man. He produced that. He produced all the songs that I'm about to drop back to back. He produced them. So we have a really good chemistry. That's the person that believes in me. Like, I really work well with that. I'm not gonna lie, like, cause I believe in people. You know, when I work with you, like, I'm gonna lock in with you. I don't bounce around and work with a bunch of different people. You know, so if I'm spending money with you, or if we're just working together towards a common goal, I like that more than, you know.
Listen, business is business, and you can read people all you want, but at the end of the day, like music and working on something like that, or anything in the arts, there's so much emotion and passion and feeling that goes into it that you have to be able to trust the people that you're working with, and you have to have that vibe and that feeling in order to produce good art.
Like being vulnerable. Like,
Man,
I feel like that's the hardest part.
That's the thing. And being vulnerable and to get to a point where you're comfortable being vulnerable in front of a person or with a person that's special. So, you know, you want to keep that. You know, you don't want to, I now have to go find somebody else that I can get that comfortability with or build it with, and then it takes time. You know, that sometimes it doesn't. Like, you know, I've been in studios where the engineer's really, you know what I mean, he's either a fan of my music or he just likes what he may he might not even know who I am. He just likes what he's hearing, and now he's getting engaged with the work, and now we're bouncing off each other. I like that. There's a difference between, you know, somebody just telling you what to do opposed to, you know, kind of, you know, collaborating. We working together on, you know, I like that. I like when people throw their ideas out there.
Sounds organic too, you know what I mean? Where like if you're sitting there and somebody's just naturally feeling something that you're putting down, and they're like, "Yo, do you mind if we like, you know, get down on this for a minute?" And if you're open to that,
exactly,
that's that thing. I heard an old TED talk where it's like two strangers are walking towards each other on the sidewalk, and obviously they're aware that somebody's walking towards them, but they both keep their heads down and don't acknowledge the other person. But if you just look up and you like nod or say hello, the other person might just walk past you and pretty much say "fuck you." But if you keep doing that, if you keep opening yourself to a possible connection, the other person might say hello back. You know what I mean? And like that's one of those things. I know it's cheesy as hell. Sorry, guys, but
that is true.
But it's one of those things that
you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah, I think some of the greatest creation comes from vulnerability, and also what you were speaking on reminded me a lot of, again, community, because you're saying like I want to build this bond that's long lasting with you, that we can build I can't say that word.
A rapport.
No,
I know you're saying reciprocity.
Yeah, there it is.
Reciprocate those feelings and emotions and all that.
Yes.
That's a tongue twister for me too.
Yeah, reciprocity. But yeah, it's and it's interesting because it seems like you have those core values deep within you. So like, where did that start? Like, what was like the first community that you really started to build with and bond with? I'm curious.
Well, I guess I gotta say, I started doing like open mics, and it used to be a place called Listen Vision. Well, it's still there. But you know, I'm not there anymore, so that's why I said that. But shout out to Listen Vision, because they're definitely doing a lot of dope things still. But they used to have a lot. They had a radio station, like a radio show there, and they would do like freestyle sessions where locals can come in, and you know, everybody that was coming up at the time, you know, and a lot of people have gone on as Grammy winners now, or Grammy nominated artists that started there with me, you know, doing those open mics.
That's what we're going to be talking about with you later, like years to come. We're going to be like, yo, we had.
Man,
he's still.
Nah, you is. Trust me. Before I be humble and be like, yeah, I hope. Nah, you is, for sure. You definitely is. But, like a lot of talented people came from within that little, you know, circle of artists. And at the beginning, you know, I'll be honest, I was just starting, you know, so I didn't know how to record, and all these people, they were already having videos out, stuff like that. So when I would come in there and do my little freestyle, and it was, what I was doing was different, you know, because people weren't really singing and rapping at the same time at that time, you know, so I'm doing that, and they looking at me like the stuff I'm singing about is not like really singy stuff. I'm talking about, you know, hood shit and all of this, and they like, man. And they wasn't really, you know, receptive to it at first, you know, so that kind of, you know, had me like, man, am I doing the right thing? But I will still say that was the first community thing that drove me to want to build a community, to want to have, because I seen the camaraderie they had, you know, amongst each other. And I mean, I wanted to be a part of that or something like it, you know. So fast forward, when I started to find my sound, you know, and I started to become more popular where I'm from, then, you know, it all full circle. We all work together. They all my, you know, I can contact all these people now. So and that's the thing too. A lot of people, you can't take everything personally. You can't take anything personally.
Well, yeah, and that was very brave of you to push forward, even when they weren't very receptive to it, because you saw that vision.
Man,
my
mother wasn't.
it,
My mom wasn't receptive at first. Like she used to laugh at it. Rest in peace to my mother. I miss her so much. But she's my biggest fan too. But in the beginning, she told me the truth. Like she's like, no, this is not good. Like you need something else.
You need people to keep you grounded, though. You know
seriously.
what I mean? And keep you hungry, and also keep these guys over here both will straight up tell me if I pitch an idea to them, like the one that we just talked about with the whole NFT producer idea, they would have said no, that is crap, if they truly believed it. So, and those are your A1 day ones. You know what I mean? Like the people that keep it real.
Yeah. My mom literally said the same thing to me early on when I was playing music and trying to learn how to sing.
Right.
She was like,
yeah, that's what it was.
You play guitar better than you sing. So
they try to do it in a nice way, in the nicest way as possible, but at the end of the day, they let you know straight up, like, I don't know about this.
Shout out to Mama Teresa. I see her in the audience right now.
Shout out to Mama Teresa.
No, but you know what? The thing is that, like, if you believe in yourself, you're not going to stop doing that because someone tells you,
don't matter.
They don't see the vision.
It doesn't matter.
And that's something we've talked about before, too, is that there are times where, I might not see his vision, but because I support what he does, I'm there for him, and we'll see it through, and then at the end, I'll be like, oh, shit,
I get it.
I didn't see that, but I know that you have that kind of vision, so I'm there to support you, and we just made something awesome.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing that you guys are the kind of team that, you can do that with, because a lot of teams, a lot of people won't make moves if they don't, feel like something's going to work, or if it's not their idea, if they just don't believe in it. But
those
egos get in the way of everything, man. Seriously, egos get in the way of everything.
But what you're talking about too, like what we've built, we've been friends for like 10 years now. So this shit,
it's bigger than that.
Yeah, it takes time too to build those things. Like sometimes, you just click. Like these two hated each other at one point and then loved each other like very soon after. But
it happens.
It was just the first time we were both two Dave G's in a room with
at the same time.
With a mutual friend.
With a mutual friend, and I was like, I'm his Dave friend. He can only have one Dave friend.
That makes sense. I can understand that conflict.
We became the Daves.
That's even better. Now it's a bigger family.
It was gonna be like this whole like real big like world exploding fight, like comic book event almost, and then it turned into like them banding together and becoming superheroes. What a happy ending!
Come on, man, you can't get any happier than that,
right?
Seriously.
Right? But that's
just to circle back to my mom. She's now my biggest fan as well. So just shout out to my mom.
And another thing, what you were saying, Bing, is about that believing in yourself and having that confidence in yourself. I know it's essential because I know the difference between when I've lost the confidence that I had at one point and then had to get it back. And this is recent. Like I had to, now that I've got it back, now I'm literally training myself to be, because I was crazy confident at one point, and so I had to get back. I had to really think back to what was I doing at that time that made me so confident in myself. Because when you that confident in yourself, it don't matter what anybody says. It literally rubs off your back. You don't think about it. You don't care. But once you start losing confidence, you care. You care about everything. It's harder to do things. It's harder to stay focused on a goal and
it's so hard to get it back.
And it's very hard to get it back.
It's doable, but it's hard.
It's extremely hard to get it back. I'm telling you that because it's taking me years.
What are you doing to get it back?
I got mantras that I'm saying to myself daily now. I'm praying on a specific thing. And now I'm trying to walk. I used to walk like I was already there, even before I was there. At anything and everything that I wanted to do, that I walked in that light and walk like I was already there. I always accomplished it. It always happens. So it's that, being able to get back there. Okay, I know this gonna work, and if I gotta put this money in, I gotta do this. It's not about it's being able to. It's a chance to show that you have, the faith that you say you have, the belief that you say that you have in yourself. That's putting your money where your mouth is when you walk in it. So when you don't walk in it and you second guess everything you do, and you don't, really, really invest in yourself and really go hard for yourself, then it's evident, that you don't really believe in what you're doing, and it ain't there yet. Not saying that it can't be, because you can work on it, and I tell you that because I know, you can get it back, but you have to walk in it. Like it ain't no
There's no shortcuts.
It ain't about shortcuts. It's just you got to have that clear cut. I don't care what nobody say. This is where I'm going. Either you going to help me get there or I see you when I get there. But I'm going to be there.
Yep.
You will see me there. You know what I mean? Like, it's that mentality. And that's hard to have, when, you might have, gone through things. You might not have the necessary funds that you need to accomplish what you're trying to do. But once you start thinking and, walking in what you're doing, all that stuff starts to fade. Like, you don't worry about, you just do your job. You know what I mean? Do the parts that you can do. You know what I mean? Which is show up, be positive, have a positive outlook on every situation that you walk into. You know what I mean? And work the hardest. Work harder.
And people gravitate to positivity. I mean,
they do.
There's a reason that saying exists. That you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar.
I'm not gonna lie. I put that to the test coming home from on the plane because I always have issues with customer service at the airplane at the airport.
It's the fucking worst.
I always get into it with the customer service because they're so rude and condescending and they
because they hold all the power
and they flex it and they flex it, boy.
It.
They flex it. You know what I mean? So and I'm not with that nonsense. So when they start doing that to me, I always end up getting into it. But this yesterday I said this lady being an asshole in my head, but usually I would say that out loud, but. In my head, I said, you know what, though? I'm going to try something different. I said, I'm going to let her be her. Maybe she having a bad day. I'm trying to get home. I got this interview tomorrow because it's coming back here with you guys. So I'm like, you know what? How you doing today, man? Your day going on? It seem like you're having a little rough day. Then she tells me, like, here, just da-da-da. I'm like, all right, well, I hope your day get better. I said that she's still being a little rude to people around me now. Cause I'm not saying nothing. But then she probably like, oh, they wasn't trying to let me, because the flight had got delayed, so I knew I wasn't going to catch the second one. So I'm like, well, I'll just change the second flight now from Phoenix. And then she ended up putting me on the first class for free. Yeah, so.
And there you go.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? Just because I say, you know what, that must be instant karma for being, you know what I mean?
And because it's not easy. It's not easy to swallow your pride and be like, all right, this person's being an asshole. It's very easy to react to that.
Man, it's easy for me too, for sure. Cause I'm
the same way.
Because I hate bullying. I hate when people, flexing your power. I hate all of that stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I wish the world was a fair, positive, happy. Everybody had what they need to get by. People weren't, getting over on each other, just all the stuff that makes me not like the world, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting to was that with that whole positive mentality, that's what gravitated me towards you and made me want to reach out because you were in some of these Twitter DMs with a whole bunch of other people from some of these other NFT projects, and you clearly just had such a positive outlook, and you were just there to hang and vibe and just be. And everyone's so worried about their bags, and they're so worried about this and
man.
that, and you were just there chilling.
That's it.
And once I heard you were in the Head Hippie chat, I was like, dude, I want to be in the Head Hippie chat.
Man, come on, I got you, man. Come on.
And look, I know followers aren't everything, but then I see that you have almost 12,000 followers on Twitter.
Crazy.
I see you have almost 50,000 on Instagram, and you're just being real. And you could very easily be like this guy that's going to separate himself from all these quote unquote little people.
I've seen, it's crazy. I don't even care about followers because when I first got on Twitter again with Web3, that's what brought me back to it in February, end of February. I had 3,000 followers then at that time, so it's growing, but I'm not. It's not. I see people that actively chase it. Followers. I watch, because I'm very observant. I watch it on Instagram. I watch it on Twitter. I watch people that I actively know in real life.
Just harvesting followers.
Yeah, but not even that. The main thing is not all the time, but a lot of times now. It's sad that social media is really changing the way people interact with people. It's changing the way people look at themselves. It's changing the way they view themselves in the world because I know people that used to ask me, man, you got followers. They sit around. I'm like, brother, and I would tell them then, this was years ago. Because I haven't been on my Instagram really in 3 years. I'm just now putting music out again. So it's been at that same following for some years, so it should be more than that, but I don't really... it'll get there now that I'm actively working. It's a goal now because I'm working towards it, but it's nothing because when you start worrying about followers, and then I know you before you got followers, and you were a very nice person before, and then after you start getting followers and you get attention and you start, you know, going places and doing things and meeting people, you start treating people different, you know what I mean? Or you start, you know, just acting different. You're not the same person no more. That's when it becomes a problem to me. You know what I mean?
That's why one of my favorite sayings is, money doesn't change you, it exposes
It shows who you are.
Exactly. You finished. I love it. That's true, man. Because like there's certain people that I've seen in. Like, I moved to LA when I was 18. I'm an actor out here, so I've heard no a million times. My dad's like, "You're a fucking idiot for moving out to LA." So, you know,
I know that.
Yeah. We all know this.
We know how that go.
Yeah. But it's interesting because there are people that I've seen that did come up like very big in the acting world. I'm like, oh yeah, you're still the same cool person that I met. And then there's another person that I'm like, oh, you're just an asshole now. Like, and it's crazy that like it is so weird though, because I don't understand, like, if it's like, if you made it, you feel like you'd be like a happier person, right? Like, you feel like, you'd be nicer, right?
A nicer person.
What do you have to stress?
You know what it is? Again, just like those people at the airport that run the customer service, it's the power that gets to your head. And some people can handle that power, and they know how to hold themselves, and they know how to still be a human being. And there's other people that they get that power, and it's like they're power drunk. And they almost can't even control what an asshole they are.
Well, I'm going to tell everyone
it's overtaken them.
If you figure out how to live forever, then I'll say you have a little bit of power.
Right.
But until then, everyone's going in the same dirt, homie.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. You know, so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much quote unquote power you have. It's not going to last forever.
I don't believe you.
I mean, I've been through some. I've had some. Let's just say. Substance experiences that have led me to have some, visceral understandings of life, I think, and as well reading certain books like the Book of Buddha and whatnot, and learning just how to drop the stick, so to speak, and understanding the flower blooms and the flower blooms. Just be, don't be like, oh, you damn flower, you didn't bloom now. It's like, well, dude, be happy that the flower even did bloom. Yeah, exactly. Enjoy the beauty. Yeah, but it's wild because it seems like you have a deep, deep understanding and. I want to say compassion for just general like care for other people.
Yeah, because I've been there. I ain't gonna say and lie. Like I've definitely had my time where I had my ego. You know what I mean? Like, and I thought
we all had it.
Like, yeah, man. When I first started coming up back home a few years ago, and then because it was happening fast at that time, and that goes back to what I was saying about when you have that belief in yourself, things happen fast. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I know how I treated people. I look back and I can reflect, and I can look back and be honest with myself on what situations could have been better, what I could have done better in situations, and just myself, how I could have been a more perceptive person to other people's feelings, being empathetic. I think that's the biggest thing, being empathetic, and appreciating everything that people do for you. Because back home people were doing everything for me. I didn't have to really do much. And it goes to your head. You can go places. Everybody just shows you love. People riding by, playing your music in the car, giving you stuff. Like, it gets to your head. You know what I mean? Like girls, all of that. It gets to your head. But at the end of the day, you gotta really genuinely stay focused on the goal. Like, none of that stuff can matter because it's fake. You know what I mean? None of that stuff is real. Because the second you really start going through shit, and you need them people, or you need people to just give you a kind word, or just even remember that you exist, none of them people are there.
Yep.
They move on to the next person.
It's so easy to take shit for granted.
It's very easy, and at this point, I don't even look at it as taking those things for granted. I would say taking people for granted,
right.
Taking people for granted in the things that, because people don't have to do anything for you. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing that we get misconstrued. Nobody owes you anything, So when somebody does something for you, or they're actively involved in your vision, then, you got to really appreciate that. And you got to love and appreciate that person and treat their goals and their vision the same as your own, So it's just, growing and understanding those things, and really understanding that we all trying to get somewhere. Where I'm trying to get to is not more important than where you're trying to get to. And, and nobody should treat other people like that. We should treat each other like like we the same. Like my individuality is your individuality. You know what I mean? So
love that. Hey, listen, I want to play some more of your music. So what should we play for our audience next?
we're gonna play the new one. Keep it coming.
Keep it coming. All right.
Yeah.
While he rolls up that track, I just want to reset the room one more time for anyone new that has joined us. Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us on this beautiful Saturday.
Yes,
we are
sir.
Sapo Studios. I'm Bingus Frog. We got ASAP Froggy here and Doc Froggle. We're operating under the umbrella of the notorious Frog NFT project, Frogland. They are an absolute powerhouse. They're doxed. You should go check them out. But yeah,
They're
they are. No, listen, some projects aren't doxed.
I love that.
They are doxed. You can
That's
go
a
and look
nice
them
thing
up.
to know, though.
Yeah.
Their rap sheet is deep, and it's a very successful,
Unbelievable,
team. They're very
yeah.
capable, is what I'll say.
Yeah,
Dope,
but yeah, no, we're here trying to put ownership rights and profits back into the hands of artists.
And I actually have something to say about that too when we come back. I'm working on something that it goes right into what you're talking about.
Beautiful.
All right,
Love that.
I love it. Yes, let's play this banger real quick, and then we'll get into that good old combo. I'm enjoying this talk. Thank
Me
you for
too,
coming.
man. I'm really appreciative.
And
Thank
again,
you.
I want a pair of those pants.
I got, man. We're gonna
And
get
then
you
when
in
I
them.
get them, we're gonna take a fucking
We're gonna
photo
take a
together.
yeah. That's
All
a
right,
fact.
this is Keep It Coming by V Stowe.
Ooh, you make that much off a plate. Yeah, I made that much today. I still switch my phone up 3 times this week. You can't be too safe. Tell homeboy, switch out the place. I ain't taking no wells, what since that May. Got a working name back with weed in LA. Got a girl keep telling me to come to the bay. Get my nigga right here in your face. Dropping the top right here in your face. Got the shit on me, get the business on me. Got the Mary on me like Diddy and May. Hold up, hold nigga, what is you saying? I'm 10 toes down, I'm stuck to the pavement. I rap that shit, I surround that shit, cover ground. Man, nigga always taking. It will work for me, how much is it make? Had to jump on the mail truck, nigga kept playing. Got moves out Philly, got moves out in Vegas. Got moves in your city if your niggas gon' pay me. That move real smooth, you ain't gotta say it. Bank on me, nigga, Trevor chase it. Keep calling, the money keep calling. Them niggas ain't on now. I gotta keep it jumping.
So dope in the trap house, bought me a penthouse, sent 20K, I sent like 10 out. Whip me a brick that I wear my wrist out. Make me a plate, count it up, then spin out. Money keep coming, so the plug keep fronting. Got a prepaid phone, do Powerball numbers. Some of my dogs on the case right now, fucked up, can't even be around all of them. Trap house jump like crisscross. I throw the coke and the big in the powder and whip till it shine like lip gloss. Every day hustle like Rick Ross. I got the peas coming in by the trash bag, get it for the low, you ain't even gotta ask that. Get a little money, them hoes get friendly. You ain't got shit, you'll probably get laughed at. I used to go outside and pull all nighters, had the junkies with me. I'm on a marathon race, running to the money. Know I keep the shooters running with me. Know the police on the nigga line, trapping till they come and get me. Lost 50 running from the feds on the road. Hour later, had another 50.
The money keep calling, the money keep calling. Them niggas ain't on now. I gotta keep it jumping.
Super dope. I dig it.
Thank you. Appreciate you, fam.
Yeah.
And you were saying that was the same engineer?
Yeah, the engine, yeah,
or the same beat maker. Excuse me.
Too tall. The producer. Yep. Same producer.
Yo, really quick, I do want to get in this conversation of what we were going to have earlier before the song we wanted to play. But Brain Pasta is up on
Hey,
stage.
shout out my dog.
Yeah, legend. So, Brain Pasta, how are you doing?
Oh, bro, I'm like walking down the street in LA right now. I just left some convention. Sorry, I didn't even hear what was going on. I just wanted to tune in because Head Hippie and Frogland, and yeah, y'all are the shit.
Bro, when are we going to have you on the show, too? You should just come here, and we'll just have you on.
Yeah, you gotta come through, man. It's cool. They got a vibe over here. I'm telling you.
We're not even playing. What
dope.
convention are you leaving right now? Where you at? We'll shoot you. We'll shoot you.
I just left the NFT exposure thing.
How was it?
It's alright, you know. I mean, there's a lot of cool people there. A lot of people just shilled me their nonsense. And you know, it's what to expect when you go to any one of those conventions.
Right.
Did you hear anything
Definitely
remotely
not.
close to Sapo Studios?
They're definitely not talking about freaking Frogland, which they should be.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Good. We
this
don't want.
point, yeah.
We want everyone to still think it's a rug, so we can keep buying more of these
And building,
extreme
yes.
assets. You know, as such, and you know, then when everyone opens their eyes, we'll just go, ha!
Yeah.
Told you so, bitch.
Not really. Well, yeah, we did tell you. Like I've been. Yeah, we tried to tell you all. Really quick, I want to do a quick reset of the room. Actually, let's let Bingus do it because Bingus is the best.
All right, welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. This is Sapo Studios. We are operating under the umbrella of Frogland, the Notorious Frog NFT project. I am Bingus Frog. We have ASAP Froggy and Doc Froggleday here. We're trying to put ownership rights and profits back into the hands of artists. We're going to be unveiling a marketplace where we can buy and sell music stems and do a whole lot more. But until we get there, we're chatting it up with artists. We're jamming. We're talking about NFTs, music, and life. We have Visto in the studio with us today, having some great chats, listening to his awesome music. And Visto, I believe you were going to tell us about a project you're working on that kind of falls in line with those ownership rights or something of that nature.
Yes, sir. So, like one thing I noticed in the music space within Web3 is that it isn't a lot of opportunity for artists to thrive with their own ideas and their own team. You know, you kind of have to go through a middleman, and it reminds me of Web2. You know, if you're an independent artist, you have to, to get your music published, you have to go through a DistroKid, a TuneCore, Create Music, any kind of publishing company, or get a deal, so that you can get your stuff published. A middle person, with smart contracts, we should be able to, create our own teams and create our own, ways of doing things.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I saw that in Web3 too. I was like, well, man, I don't really see too many artists. I see artists doing it, but they have their own teams, but the other artists, they can't put their records out, without going directly through OpenSea or, a middleman, and I won't say no names, nothing like that, but, we all know the biggest Web3 entities as far as music and putting artists out, and it's very selective, it's like it's a community too, so you can't really get mad at it. I definitely salute it, but for artists to thrive, in this space, we need more artists. So,
absolutely.
What I'm working on with my project, shout out to the Randoms, because I just won that little artist grant, so they're going to be investing a little money into my project.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So basically what it is, I'll be doing my own project, but with that smart contract, I'm going to make it accessible to all artists within the Randoms and any artist that, wants to get it and wants to do their own projects. You can just take that smart contract, adjust it, a little bit to fit what you're doing.
That's fantastic.
And now you can, do your own thing. So I think that's important, starting somewhere, and I look at how Azuki made their contract accessible to the whole community, and Web3 and abroad. So I'm like, we need that for music. We need that for more artists.
That is very, very intelligent because, yes, that's one of the number one questions that a lot of newcomers and artists in general ask is like, well, what the hell is a smart contract, first of all, and like, where do I get started? How do I write that? Like,
yeah,
and
artists are oblivious to this, and they will have to learn it because it'll be the future, your masters, basically.
Well, partly so, though, because like I think of it like this. Picasso didn't spend his life learning how to build the best paint. He spent his life learning which paint is the best for what type of art because of trial and error and seeing like, okay, I like this, I don't like this, which
right.
Artists should be focused on that core creation, which is why I think, but it is a little bit of this balancing act because, as we've seen, so many artists have been sort of overlooked or not given the opportunity as others because they don't either have that look or that backing, whatever it is. Web3 is sort of leveling that playing field, but
if it's done right.
Yes, and you have to have the ability. You have to be hungry for it, obviously, as we've discussed. But you have to have the ability. So I think that's an amazing thing for you to do because I do believe in my core artists should be focusing on their art, but you also have to understand there's a business side of this and how, like, you can build a product, but you also need to understand how are you going to sell that product.
Exactly.
And maybe you don't even know how the fuck to build a product. Maybe you're just like, I have an idea for a product. You know what I mean? Like, there you go. Like, that's even...
It all starts with just, walking through the door and making that first move.
Somewhere.
Right, exactly.
Let me ask you, what got you into NFTs initially? I know, like, you mentioned Azuki. I've seen you in some other spaces and some other projects.
Yeah, I see that sick-ass Quirkies jacket you got on this sweater.
Shout out to the Quirkies. I got the Quirkies hoodie on, y'all.
But what first brought you into the Web3 space?
My man, he had told me about it. I mean, I had heard about it, well, not really Web3, but just NFTs. And being an artist, like, I support a lot of digital artists before, NFTs. I was supporting and, buying characters and, things for my flyers and different things just to make them stand out, So I had always had a respect for digital art or, just artists in general, So I started to see it on, just started to see it more, YouTube. And then once my friend had told me about it, I looked into it. And then when I finally understood how to buy them and, understood the concept of the OpenSea MetaMask and just wallets and all the stuff that goes into this, and learning, I said, wait, let me, try to buy something. And the first thing I bought an NFT that I'm going to say I don't like to throw people under the bus or brands and stuff like that. But I bought an NFT that was like a rug, my first one, and
it happens to the best of us.
Oh, bro, if you haven't been burned in this space, I don't trust you.
I'm telling you, like, seriously.
I've been burned multiple
times,
yeah,
bro, and it's all good. I ain't tripping. But I bought one that didn't do too well, and I learned from that because my instincts told me don't, and I did it anyway. Just trying to, but the thing that made me was the community. I was a part of the community, and I was like, all right, well, this is cool, and. When it was rugging, I was like, man, I'm telling y'all this, my common sense is kicking in now. I'm telling people, and they're like, man, this don't seem like it's going to do. And then, I realized, like, all right, well, this might not do well, but the community is still together, and that's dope. I thought that was dope, so I said, well, let me stick around a little bit. And then I got into Quirkies, and that was the next project, and that one skyrocketed. We went to like 3.7 ETH or something that. You know what I mean? And I made some profit off of it. And then started selling, getting into other brands and started selling. So I started making a little money, but then keeping the ones that I really believe in.
Right.
Because I think that's important, if you really support what a brand is doing and you think they have longevity, the possibility of that, then support them long term. So it's ones that, I'll make sure I have one in the vault, that I can hold and, just be able to continue to be a part of the community.
Right.
So... That really started it, I think.
That's an interesting perspective, like right off the bat, because a lot of people, when if their first interaction is getting burned, because my first interaction I wasn't burned, right? Like I had a couple interactions, then I got burned.
Right.
But like if that happens, a lot of people just leave the space.
Leave it, right.
So I commend you for being like, you know what, I took a hit, but it's not about how hard you can hit.
That all plays back into his general mentality, because like he was saying, there were times when he was making music that people didn't really see that vision and they weren't receptive to it, but he kept pushing forward. And
right.
That you gotta commend you for that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, good on you for sticking with it.
Man,
I mean, we wouldn't be sitting in this room right now. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. When I see something, I do. I stick with it. If I think something has potential, I won't, say, all right, I'm out until it's over with. You know what I mean? Until it's actually over. Because I don't like I know how hard it is first to make it in anything, to really get ahead, and to form a team, to do all the things that it takes to do Web3, to do anything in life. I know how hard it is. So I'm not going to doubt it. I'm the person that's going to get behind you. And if I see that you're working actively, trying your best at it, and you really got a plan, and even if you don't got a plan, I see, you're receptive to criticism, and then you start getting it together. Like, I pay attention to all that. Like, I'm just supporting people. I want people to win outside of me. I want to see people win. You know what I mean?
I mean, people are the ones that are building and
It's
the
us
communities
doing
of these
it.
projects.
It's not computers. Like,
right.
it's people behind these screens.
It's the tech. There is tech, but we are the we are the people behind it. Yeah,
It's
what I'm
always
saying?
better when we're lifting each other up as
got
opposed
to,
to
man.
stepping on each other's heads to get to the top.
Yeah,
So-
man.
Yeah.
And that kind of irritates me too, with a lot of things that what you just said, the need to have to feel like you have to step on the next man to get ahead.
You got to pull another project down to make yours look better. Yeah,
man.
That's one of my red flags. Anytime I see an NFT project that's like, like the community is bashing another, I'm like, don't know if this is a move on here. So.
I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah,
Really
definitely.
quick, I want to segue into sort of what we got Shia Papoose, a.k.a. ASAP Froggy, over here doing. Why don't you give us a little explanation?
Currently, I'm just setting up a project file and tuning my guitar.
All right, so to break it
natural.
down for y'all in the audience, we're opening up Logic, which we've talked about before. That's a music producing software. If you want to use something free, you can use GarageBand that comes with your Mac, or if you have a PC, I'm sure there's some free software out there that'd be good for you to edit with to get started. Once you get a little bit more advanced, use a program like Pro Tools or Logic or something of that nature. So Shia Papoose is using Logic. He's getting all set up so that we can throw some stems together, do a jam session with Visto over here, and see what comes out.
Do you know like what BPM you usually go through? I was trying to listen to the other.
They're like, I usually go like 130 to 160.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, like 130 to 160.
Because depending on the way I was like tapping it out, it was either like 145, or if I was like slower, it was like 72 or something like that.
145 is cool.
When I was speaking to you about music before you came on, you were telling me that you produce beats for other people as well as doing some of your own music. You want to talk a little bit about that process?
Yeah, I just I use FL Studios. That's what I use to produce, and I used to use Logic though. That's what I started off with. But I just kind of do whatever comes natural.
So let me ask you: do you make a bunch of beats and then
no,
you
most
distribute
times
those to people?
I do that too, but most times it's like when I actually make something that's like really good. Because when I'm by myself just making beats, I get bored. Like, so I won't really put nothing in it. But if I'm around people and I'm making it, you got that energy. Like, I'm feeding off of them telling me, nah, do this, like that. So then I add my twang, to it, and they like what I do, obviously, because they let me produce it. So.
Do those artists usually come in with some sort of a vision, or do you have to kind of guide the session?
Well, the ones that I haven't produced for a whole bunch of artists. I probably produced for like 6 artists, like actually projects, or like had a single out on them or something like that. But usually it'll start off with like one time I'll just use I'll give a session, for example. The artist came in and we were already vibing, like just smoking, kicking it, and then I had my friend came who plays the guitar. And he came and did like a little riff, and I just took that riff. I was like, well, shit, we chilling. Nobody was really even thinking about making music. Me and him were just vibing out. And then he took that riff. I took it, flipped it a little bit, and then added my, percussion element to it that make it bounce and, that a rapper would want to get on. And then everybody started looking over like, hey, man, they all get to rapping.
Something's happening.
Yeah, and then they all get to rapping with each other. Then one person say, man, I want this beat loaded up. And then I just, and we make it like 20, 30 minutes, finish the beat out, load it up. Now I record them. Then a week later, we shooting a video.
It's
I love that.
When you're talking about it, I see that smile on your face, like you're
Yeah,
back in the
music.
studio, like reliving those moments. And it makes me think of, we have a buddy, Guap, that we've had on the show. He's in music and has his own studio, and we've spent a lot of time there. And there is just something so special about those moments where, like, things are just happening. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's just chilling, but then someone's noodling around with something, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, shit, okay. All right, let's hop in the booth. And then like all of a sudden, like this awesome song is coming together, and everyone was just chilling. But that's the best, is where you don't feel like you're working. You know what I mean? It's just.
It reminds me of Lauryn Hill, because Lauryn Hill, when I heard her in a few of her interviews, she said, like, yeah, most of the time when we're in the studio, the band and her, they just chill, hang out, and they'll talk about feelings, vibes, or sort of like the concept of maybe just whatever. It could be based on like loss, it could be based on rejoice, whatever, and then they'll connect that to a sound, one instrument, and then they'll go from there. I'm like, bro, that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's art, man. That's music. And everybody has their process. I like me when I get deep, my own music. Like, if I were to produce a record for myself, like I would do the same thing. I would get very, very, very deep with it, like you just said. I wanted. What does this song taste like? What does it smell like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, what does it feel like? All right, so we're gonna bring in this kind of food. We're gonna bring I'm that type of artist.
That's awesome.
Like,
that reminds me of like Edward Norton's acting technique, where he's like the clothes dictate the character's like behavior a little bit.
That's another thing with beats. They dictate me. I never approach every song that I've done. I approach them different. You know, I don't like a lot of artists that rap or do the style of music I do. They'll find a flow or a couple flows that they use and just use those flows.
Right. That's it. That's it.
And it'll be sounding repetitive. It'll be a new beat. The beat will be great, but if you really listen to the
Man,
flow or melodies, it's the same. Right. But me, it's harder for me to make songs because, well, I won't even say harder because they all, come pretty fast, but it'd be more.
So you made one in like 15 minutes, bro.
Yeah, but sometimes it's much longer and sometimes it's hit or miss. Because I might do something that isn't good, you know what I mean? Like, I know it ain't good, but I try it anyway, because I got to try different things.
I love that because you're not stuck in this like box or this case. It's sort of what you were saying earlier. That's what I love what Black says. Black was saying, he's like, yeah, there's these dudes that want me to do this type of song. They say like, if you're going to do it, it's going to hit. And he's like, I know it's going to fucking hit. But then that means I'm going to have to keep doing that shit. And that ain't me. Like, you're going to have to keep doing that because now that's what you're known for, is making this type of music.
And I don't want to be that kind of artist. I
love that.
I wouldn't mind being known for a style of music, but if that style of music is going to be a style, at least let it be a style I made up.
Right. And let it evolve if it wants to evolve.
Exactly.
Like, who the hell says that you have to stay in this
style?
Right.
You know
Think about just the Beatles, from where the Beatles started to where they went, like, over time, like, even just their general evolution of, like, and that's just obviously, back in the day, but nowadays it's like you could go into so many different sort of genres. I remember when Lil Wayne was doing his like rock and roll album way back in the, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of wild,
Well, yeah, I mean, even Kendrick Lamar taking a bunch of jazz stuff and doing his music over that, like,
man,
it just trying something different. And let me tell you something. Sometimes even as a fan, it takes you a minute to wrap your head around it and to see someone else's vision. And I remember when I first heard that album. What the fuck? The album with the first song is like to kill a butterfly or something like that.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Whatever Kendrick album it was like
terrible
2 albums ago.
reporting.
Yeah, I know. But that first introduction of that jazz feel under his stuff, I was like, all right, I don't necessarily know that I vibe with this. And then I listened to it like 40 more times with a buddy of mine who's super into Kendrick, and all of a sudden it clicked. One day it was just like, oh my God, this is actually really fucking good.
But
you have to be
to pimp a butterfly.
You got to be willing.
That's it.
Yep,
I got you.
You got to be willing to give it a chance, man. That's another thing. Like, you just got to be willing to give stuff a chance. And I think, don't have a closed mind to things, because you never know when you'll discover To Pimp a Butterfly and it clicks for you. You know what I mean? Because if I would have like you said, having that belief and sticking with it. If I would have left NFTs after that first project, I wouldn't have seen all of these great projects or met all of these amazing people, or I've interacted with them the way I have if it was not for NFT, because I met some super amazing people within the Web3 space. I met some dickheads too who who really
they're out there.
They're definitely out there, rampant too. They rampant. They running wild, but
rampant.
And they're always the loudest voices
always
in
the loudest,
fucking
man.
room.
I'm telling you, that's how you know too.
That's why when you get a lot more people that are just like, they can be subtle as they want, but when you get a lot of subtle people, they're gonna over time overcome that loud person.
Yeah, man. And that's
we just got to make sure you can't get a bunch of those loud people in the same room.
Yeah,
that's what you don't want to be.
You got a problem then.
You got a problem.
It's going viral.
I do want to go back to something you said, though, because it's funny. You were saying that there are some artists that, like, these rappers that'll take their same shit and put it over every different beat or whatever, wherever they go.
Right.
And it's funny because it's like that moment when you realize that, like, reality TV isn't real. There was a moment for me where, like, I thought, like, everyone that freestyled was coming off of off the top of their head. And I was so impressed. And then there came that day where I was like, oh, shit. Most of these people are writing all this stuff in advance.
In advance.
Yeah.
or
That's
taking
wild.
a couple lines. Yeah, that's still a skill to be able to memorize all the different
Absolutely.
bars and stuff like that.
Listen, if you can
But-
come up with 45 different sets of lyrics that each one of them works with a different beat, and you know which one
One
to
goes
pull
with
out
what?
in that
Yeah,
moment,
that's a
that's
skill.
definitely a
That's
skill.
But
me,
yeah, I don't never like. I would never say I'm a freestyler. I've never ever said that. I'm just good at coming off the top of my head with lines. I can literally go into. I'm a good in studio artist and on stage. Like in studio, I'm really good. I can go in there and line by line, like with my mic and everything set up for my voice. I'm amazing. I can go in there and line for line, it's gonna be fast. That's why I said 15 minutes, because it might not be all off the top of my head, but it don't take me long. I'm coming back to back. I'm like, all right, run it back. Hit that line, mumbling some stuff. I'm like, all right, run it back. I got it. Who that line? Then I might switch the melody and mumble some crazy melody, and the engineer may be like, man, that was hard. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm gonna put some words to this. Keep running it back like 6 times till I hear it. Just keep pressing spacebar on that one line till I hear it. I'm gonna run it back until that 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, I done the whole verse. Now I'm on the hook, and the hook is pretty much already done. I'm going through the whole song. I'm just doing the ad libs.
And you refer to the mumble melody, and that's something that
That's a big thing in music.
love watching artists do.
That's
and
a
I've
big
talked
thing in
about that
music.
before. I've talked about, Sia had this interview on Howard Stern where she talked about Shine Bright Like a Diamond and writing that before she sold it to Rihanna. And, her, like, that music playing and her just mumbling these, like, nonsense things until it becomes Shine Bright Like a Diamond.
Exactly,
and you
bro.
hear her doing it. And it gives me the chills still, like, thinking about it. Because those are those magic moments in the
They
studio.
happen, and they're magic moments, bro.
It
'cause
just comes out of
They
you.
come out, and they don't
wild.
come. They don't come every single time.
No.
They don't
Definitely
come every.
not.
That's the beauty in it. You like that's the high you chase too, because they gonna come.
Yeah.
But you got to stay active. You got to stay recording and
Because
working.
everything is a numbers game.
It's a numbers game.
And if you don't shoot your shot 100 times so that you can go through those 99
Come
losses,
on,
you're
man.
not going to have that
Come
one
on,
win.
man. I'm telling you.
I think we should
exactly
shoot
it.
more than 100 times. Though.
We shoot 1,000 shots now. We shooting 1,000 shots
Just
on average.
fucking with you.
If you in here right now, you shooting shots, and this metaphoric, anything you doing, we shooting 1,000 shots.
You
a day.
you have to. And what happens if you miss a shot? You're still at the same spot that you were. So-
Absolutely.
I'm
Got to
telling
try. Got to put
You
yourself
got
out
to,
there.
man.
Visto, thank you so much for being with here.
I was here
with here,
jamming, man.
with us here today. It was an absolutely great time. It was
my pleasure, bro.
It was
My
really
pleasure.
nice hearing your philosophies, and you're a very talented and profound individual. So
Thank you, man. You guys are too, bro. And I was out just sitting here jamming out to that beat. I was tranced out for a second. Like, hold on, what I'm about to put to this? Like, you had me going.
Oh,
bro.
it's still gonna happen.
Shia builds some sick stuff. ASAP Froggy's got
This
some
shit
skills
hard.
over there.
Like, yeah.
We-
We
not
should
only
produce
did-
together. We should definitely do a song, bro. We should
Hell
do
yeah.
some ASAP. This is dope.
ASAP Froggy.
Yeah, this
Tell
is
me.
this is gonna be the start of a very beautiful relationship.
Yes, sir.
But no, we just really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today and to give our audience some of your knowledge. So really
Man,
cool
thank
stuff.
You. Thank you for having me. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Sapo Studio. Shout out to the Frogs, man. Shout out to everybody out there in Web3. Shout out to the Quirkies fam. I got shout them out because that's the fam. Shout out to
Dude, shout them out, baby.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the randoms. And I just want to first shout out to God, because nothing can happen without God. So I put him first and foremost. And if you out there, man, and you doing music, you doing anything in Web3, whether it's NFT related or digital art, photos, whatever, go for it. Like, it's time, no more waiting. Like, put them 1,000 shots up, get with some developers. Like, if you're a musician and you need a smart contract, when mine is done, just reach out to me. Let's get in touch now. DM me. Let's lock in. Let's build. That's what this space is about. Like, this isn't like Web 2 and, where everybody coming with ego and I don't know you, so none of that stuff. Like, we building. Like, we want to all get there. So let's work together.
Wise words, kind words, and something really to remember from this whole interview is that there are going to be obstacles, but you need to be able to power forward if you believe in yourself,
Man.
if you believe in your art, and it's going to pay off. You'll see it pay off with community. You'll see it pay off with the stuff that you produce, and you'll be happier. So,
agreed.
Thank you for being with us today. Have a beautiful Saturday, and we will catch you next time. Sapo Studios out.
Yes, sir.